stones out on the shore. Still not sure what you asked me here for, but I'm scouring the earth on the forest floor, skipping the stones till my arm is sore. And we stand in silence till a 3:45, till the skies open up and it starts to pour. So we gather up our things and head to the car. And it doesn't take long, no, we don't get far, till you say you're not coming home. You I'm uprooted, being taken by the wind. You'd love Portland, you'd fit right in Oregon. I've never seen the West Coast or touched the Pacific Ocean. I got this broken GPS in an old backpack. How much further can I track till I don't know my way back? I'd rather get somewhere fast than nowhere slow. How much further can I go till I don't know my way home? And I'm going on my own. Dandelions, line the Hudson, and they don't need our help with growing. Must have come to the city when the wind was blowing. And there's pain in not knowing. There's beauty in where we're going. And as the one makes its way to Van Cortlandt, I'm dreaming of Portland. I got this broken GPS in an old backpack. How much further can I track till I don't know my way back? I'd rather get somewhere fast than nowhere slow. How much further can I go till I don't know my way home? And I'm going on my own. Wonder what the skies are like on your side of town. Wonder what you're up to now that I'm not around. You've been on my mind, taking shapes in the passing clouds. Unfamiliar figures of what we could have been by now. If things had gone differently, if we weren't stuck in this quarantine, thought I was passing a stranger when I passed by you on the street. Now I'm watching reruns on TV. I feel like John Cusack in Serendipity. serendipity. Bored inside, so I'm looking out the window, wondering where you live, which avenue or borough. Oh, I wanna know who you are. I only got a glimpse from afar. I've never put my faith in fate, and now I'm wishing on shooting stars. If things had gone differently, if we weren't stuck in this quarantine, thought I was passing a stranger when I passed by you on the street. Now I'm watching reruns on TV. I feel like John Cusack in serendipity. If things had gone differently, if we weren't stuck in this quarantine, thought I was passing a stranger when I passed by you on the street. Now I'm watching reruns on TV. I feel like John Cusack in serendipity.
Oh my God. So good. So good.
That was so cool to see. That was really amazing.
It was just so good. Hey, was I right, chat? My God. Olivia Wendel. Oh,
The
seriously.
chat.
No, you missed my introduction, Olivia.
I
And
know,
was
I
saying
did.
how, what I said, you were honestly one of the most compelling young songwriters I've come across, or we've come across in so long. And we're so honored to have you on
No.
School Night. Seriously. I mean,
you.
I know you're just getting started, but you just dropped a tremendous album on Friday. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I mean, and just looking at the chat, God, let's see. Something so honest about her songs and her voice, like your home, says that's right.
Wow.
Let's see.
That's so
here.
nice.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Let's see. So good, like cozy personified. Emily's barbecue joint says.
Oh, I like
Cozy
Emily's barbecue joint. I like that.
Cozy personified. I'll take that. That's
I'll
good,
take that.
right?
I'll take it.
Love with this song, says Adam Brodsky Music.
Brodsky.
Woolly Music, rather.
Yeah.
I just lost my place in the chat. It just went boom. School Night says, hey, Phoebe Bridgers has to sign her.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
so kind. Everybody, thank you.
She doesn't have a label deal? Labels be stupid. Says that's right. And one of my favorites, Mr. Pickles 880. This music pairs well with the rain outside and the smile on my face. I mean...
Also these usernames. I mean...
I know.
People are really... You guys are the creative ones. Like, these names.
Yeah, seriously. The people that are in the chat. I mean, hey, here's a good one. Dunkle Snorty. Shout out to Dunkle Snorty, who subscribed to School Night at Home with Prime. Thank you, Dunkle Snorty.
Oh my goodness. That
I hope
gets me.
I hope that's not your given name. I'm just...
I hope it is. So unique.
So where did you shoot that session? I guess right where you are right now, it looks like.
This was the space. No, I wish. We were super lucky. We got to go shoot at this place, Degraw Studios.
I don't know it.
Yeah, it's in Brooklyn. I don't remember which part of Brooklyn. I'm not great with the geography there, but it was really cool, and the space was beautiful, and it was so welcoming. And talk about warm. The space was so beautiful, and it felt very warm and very welcoming, and we were instantly comfortable. It was a really special experience, and also to play music with people for the first time, since the pandemic, and that was really special. There were moments where I would sort of forget to come back in and sing because I was just so excited about being there. Yeah, it was really great.
Well, and you had a great band with you, including your betrothed, your is that the right word? Your beloved?
Yeah.
The one that you are fianced to.
The one that I am fianced to. Yeah.
Yes.
My dowry, the one I give my dowry to. What do we do? Colin has been my guitarist for a really long time. He started playing for me when we were at NYU together. He would play with me at like the bitter end and would just accompany me. And he's the best guitarist that I know and one of the best musicians that I know. And so having him there is always really important to me and special. And I also get to marry him, so that's cool. Yeah.
Well, yeah, congratulations on that. Really.
Thank you so much.
It's fantastic.
It's cool.
Stefan Daniel Bell, Tina and I are watching. The performance was inspiring. We've been hearing Olivia on the radio around here, hoping to hear her on more soon. Oh. True. We've been championing you at KCRW. Thank you. So I just want to, let people get to know you a little bit. Yeah. I know that you recently graduated from NYU. Yeah. And you're in Washington Heights tonight in New York City, live with us. But you're originally from Massachusetts, from Lexington.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I grew up outside of Boston. That's right.
So this is a Boston suburb, per se?
Yeah.
Okay. That explains a lot. Okay, because I was thinking coming from Massachusetts to New York City and embarking on a music career, those are not small steps. Those are huge steps for somebody, And I just want to have you talk us through that and where that conviction comes from, because coming up and falling into the world of music as you did, where did that start? Where did that, germinate?
That's an interesting question. Songwriting was always a form of communication for me. It was never something that I perceived to be a career. It just was like an innate part of who I was. And so because of that, I feel like I didn't actively try to go to school for songwriting. I didn't try to go to school for music because it just was something that I felt connected to and I felt like was a part of me. And of course I took music classes and I ended up studying a lot of songwriting because I believe in studying the things that you care about. And but yeah, I was a little bit lost at college because I couldn't really figure out what my specific major was going to be. And so outside of school, I feel like that's where I really pushed myself to flourish. I always knew I wanted to be in New York City. And when I was a freshman at NYU, I remember I sent like a cold email to the bitter end, like a very famous venue. I was just like, this is around the corner from my dorm. Like, do you guys want to hear some of my demos? And it was maybe a couple voice memos. And the late Kenny Gorka reached back out and was like, you should come play a Monday. And I remember running over to my friends and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna play a show. And it was the first time I played live. And yeah, it felt very natural. And from there, I was encouraged to keep writing and come back and showcase new material. And I think that support was instrumental. And then it just kind of kept going from there. I've just kept writing. but I always just felt pulled to New York City. Maybe that was part of it.
Well, you're kind of gliding over some things as if they're pretty simple, you know? You just, yeah, so I just pursued songwriting. Timbo Taz in the chat is saying, talk about your inspiration for the songs. And I just want to add to that, you know, songwriting is a, you know, it's a work in progress, isn't it? You're constantly learning and constantly striving for the perfect song. And I wonder if you can point to songs or artists that were sort of your tow rope in trying to find, you know, your way into songwriting. And as Timbo Taz in the chat says, the inspiration behind them, where do you draw from?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think as a writer, I draw a lot of subconscious inspiration from what I listen to. Growing up, my mom from a very musical household, and my mom was one of the first female DJs in Boston, which is so cool. She DJ'd at the Paradise, and my dad is a classically trained pianist, and so I grew up definitely listening to a lot of different kinds of music. And then when I kind of came into my own, I loved like Keen, and I loved Coldplay. Like I loved writers who were really specific with lyrics and songs that I felt like I could picture things to. And I think as a writer myself, I started to draw upon my own experience. And a lot of this album is just direct experience from growing up where I did. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could go into a little bit more about, you know, each one. But yeah, I don't know. I think as I got older too, I started listening to Colin, and I would share music. Like that's what we would do when we were first getting to know each other. And he introduced me to a lot of new things. And I listen to everything. I really do. I don't dislike anything. I really don't. But yeah.
Well, I'll lead you to the title of the album, which is Windthrow. And just a reminder, if you guys are just tuning in, Olivia Wendel just put out her debut album on Friday, and it's called Windthrow, and it's spectacular. Yeah. And Thanks. If you are just tuning in, I'm sorry you missed this incredible set that you just turned in. But yeah, you called the album Windthrow, which I had to say, it was a term that I wasn't really familiar with until your album. And Le Do Love Orchestra in the chat says it's beautiful metaphorical storytelling, the lyrics in the song about the supermarket. Oh yeah, Stop and Shop.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe Windthrow, tell us about Windthrow.
Yeah, I came across that word for the first time myself a couple years ago. I was actually on a hike with my now fiance and his mom in upstate New York. And we came across this tree that had fallen over, I guess, during the night. And his mom was like, this tree, like, I don't remember seeing this. And the image of that tree just really stuck with me. I don't know. Sometimes things do. And I went home, and as we do, we researched trees. And I came across that word, windthrow, which basically just is defined as the elements that by which a tree falls over. So like wind or erosion, or there can be lots of different causes. And I thought about that. And I thought about how it relates to people that I know and what it means to be, I mean, because windthrow is a permanent thing. Like when a tree falls, it's dead. And I thought about what that looks like for people and how that similar feeling of windthrow has affected people in my life. Yeah, and so that word just really stuck with me. And I also was like, that'd be a sick album title. I was like, windthrow is really a cool word. So a lot of the music was just born out of that idea, and that's what stuck.
Yeah. I mean, it is a beautiful word. It's a beautiful thought. And I'm glad it frames the album. We're getting comments in the chat about the fact that your dad's a classically trained pianist. And if I can find, here. Mr. Pickles 880. How is your dad a classically trained pianist? And you don't have a piano in every song? I bet you slay the keys, says Mr. Pickles. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I don't slay the keys. I wish I slayed the keys. He was also a guitarist, and I think I took a lot of that. I took more of that from him. Yeah, but he is an amazing pianist still.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know one of the songs, John Cusack. Maybe you can speak to that, because I know that's you're about to release a video for that.
We are. I'm currently staring at a mask of John Cusack that Colin wore for this music video.
A mask?
Yeah.
Can you show it to us, or is it too out of reach?
It's up there. It's up there. You guys can imagine that John Cusack is just staring at me. I don't know why we keep it out. It's kind of creepy. But yeah, so this music video is coming out probably in the next couple of weeks. We'll sort of tease it and then release it. Just, it was a really, really fun experience. Mostly just the looks people gave. Walking around the city with a John Cusack mask on is a once in a lifetime experience that I recommend.
Well, I mean, let's just talk about New York for 1 minute, because I've got to imagine that there's just inspiration at every turn.
Yeah, true. I remember I was like walking down the street one time, and sometimes I'll just go on walks and, get ideas or clear my head and then look at things or listen to people. I love to people watch. It's the best activity. And I remember walking down the street and I don't remember which song I was writing in my head, but I was sort of having ideas, maybe like parts of Windthrow or Stop and Shop. And I remember somebody stopped me on the street. This was pre-pandemic. And somebody stopped me on the street and was like, "What are you thinking right now?" I was like, "Oh," and they were like, "What are you thinking about?" And I was like, "I gotta go." But I feel like I see that in other people too, which I think is my favorite part of the city, is that everyone is kind of dreaming or is kind of thinking about things.
Well, somebody had the courage to come up and confront you about it.
Yeah, I loved it.
That is a very New York experience.
Yeah.
Well, Olivia, it's been a pleasure to have you. And,
it's been so nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for putting together this session for us. And we'll obviously keep an eye on what's to come from you.
Yeah.
And be supporting you. And we look forward to the new video.
Yeah.
And wish you all the success with Windthrow.
Thank you so much, Chris. And everybody at School Night. Thank you so much for having me. This has been such a lovely experience. So
absolutely our pleasure.